focusing on the second column, which is this all green. I wasn't able to get through all of the shades. However, I tried my best to get through most of the shades. So in this look, I actually did use all the shades in this column. And if you want to see how I created this look, just keep watching.
The first item we're using for this look is the Danessa Myricks Beauty Groundwork Define Neutral Palette. So I wanted to use this for my brows, and the shades that I'm actually using for my brows on the outer portion, I'm using Sculpted, and then for the inner portion of my brows, I'm using Chiseled. Now, in this video, I did not mention this at the beginning. However, this video is going to be an all Black owned makeup brand look as well. I did create another video similar to this, posted a couple days ago. So if you want to see another video of all Black owned beauty brands on one face, go ahead and check that video out. I am using different brands, just FYI. I'm filling my brows using an angle brush on one side and spoolie on the other end. It's strictly made for brows. And then I end up setting my brows with a brow gel from ABH. I wanted to use a Black owned brand, but I didn't have one. And I checked out Juvia's place, but it was completely sold out. So I just used what I had. So spoiler alert, yeah, it's probably going to be about, I would say about 95, 98% Black owned brand. There's a couple things that I do have to use based off of, I just don't have it, but we're going to move past that. Now that my brows are set, I am going to go ahead and shape the bottom part of my brows using the Juvia's Place Eye Prep Eye Prime Eye Primer. I use shade 1 and 2. I mix them together. So I mix 2 drops of shade 2 and 1 drop of shade 1 together to kind of get the ideal shade for our eyeshadow base. And now I'm just using a flat definer brush to kind of shape the bottom portion of my brows. And then I am using the rest of the product to go on top of my lid. And I will take a concealer brush to kind of pat everything together to make it seamless. All right, the foundation that I'm using for this look is from Fenty Beauty. It is the Pro Filter Hydrating Longwear Foundation in the shade 240. Now, I don't know why I didn't show you guys, but I did use a primer. And for my primer, I used the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Hydrating Primer, Soft Silk. Usually whenever I do a face, if I have a primer that goes with that foundation, I usually use them together. But for some reason, I didn't show that in that video. The brush that I just so happen to be using for my foundation is a Danessa Myricks Beauty Yummy Face 1.0 All Over Complexion Brush. It's for foundation, blush, bronzer, and powder, and that's exactly what I like to use it for. I don't use it for powder because I use my creams with this brush. However, whenever Sephora has it back in stock, I will be getting another one just for my powders because that's how much I really enjoy this brush. I enjoy it so much that the brush that I used earlier for my under eye is also from the Danessa Myricks, and it's the Yummy Face 3.0. Following my foundation, I am going to be using a cream bronzer. This is from Fenty Beauty. It is the Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Bronzer and the shade 03 Macchiato. I'm just focusing that product on the peripheral of my face, on the high points of my cheek, pretty much anywhere that the sun would naturally hit my face. For my under eye highlight, I'm using the Juvia's Place concealer in the shade 20. I wanted to go with a lighter shade and not use a darker concealer because I chose to use my foundation as a concealer in a way, just applied it a little bit higher than what I usually would. And honestly, I just wanted to test something out. Usually I use a color corrector, but in this look and actually the other look that I did prior when I used all Black owned brands, I didn't use a color corrector. And honestly, I kind of feel like I might not need a color corrector. Maybe my dark circles under my eyes, either they're not as dark as they used to be, or maybe I just never really need it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Now I'm using a second concealer brush to apply a little bit of that bronzer that I used earlier from Fenty Beauty. I'm just applying that on the sides of my nose to kind of give my nose a little bit of shape and definition. I'm also bringing it up into my eyelid to kind of help give definition in my eye as well. I didn't want to use the brush that I'm using now for the contour because I didn't want to mix the shades together from the light and dark, just so that I'm able to do what I'm doing right now, just in case I need to touch up those lighter areas. I didn't want to muddy up that brush by using the contour. Now I'm just using a little beauty, not a little child. Now I'm using my beauty blender to kind of pat everything out, make sure that there's no streaks from the brush. That brush usually don't give streaks. However, I still like to use a beauty blender just in case there's any creasing, since this is a process. It's not a long process, but girl, you know how it is. You be creasing. The last item we're using for our cream products is from Fenty Beauty. It is the Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Blush in Fenty Glow. Honey, baby, I forgot how much I really enjoyed this blush. That's why it's always good to spin the block on some of your products, because you tend to forget, at least I do tend to forget, of like what hidden treasures are already on. So if you made it this far into the video, go ahead and hit the subscription button. Okay, support your girl. Join the doll face community. It is free. Okay, it's not gonna hurt you at all. Just go ahead and do it. Thank you. Now that we're done underpainting, we're going to go ahead and set all that beautiful cream product that we just applied to our face. So the first product that I'm using that is a powder is from Juvia's Place I Am Magic Powder Foundation in Cairo. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. But yeah, I'm just applying it right there on the inner corner of my eye and under eye portion. And then I am going to take a large fluffy powder brush and I'm just going to apply the Pat McGrath Lab Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Setting Powder in light medium 2. And I'm just applying that all over my face. And I'm also going to apply that on my eyelids using my favorite blending brush. I'm just going to apply a little bit all over my lid, just to give me an even, smooth playing field for when I apply these shadows. The first shade I'm using for this eye look is Taraba. I'm taking a large blending brush and I'm just pretty much focusing that shade on the outer corner. And then I'm also going to focus it on the inner corner and as well as the crease. But if you notice with that large blending brush, I'm pretty much applying the first initial application of the powder on the outer corner and the inner corner, so it could be so that the pigment could be focused more there. And then whatever product that I have left over, I am going to sweep it back and forth into my crease. So now I'm taking a smaller blender brush and using Ndebele and just applying that on the outer corner. You see how I'm swiping it back and forth, focusing mostly on the outer portion of my eyelid. And then I'm going to take some more of that shade and applying it to the inner corner. So this eye look, just in case you guys haven't noticed, this is a halo eye look. And this is pretty much how you can create that halo effect before you apply your shimmers. For this eye look and any eye look that you create, just make sure you take your time. There's no need to rush. It does take a little time, practice, and effort to create these eye looks. But if you mess up, it's okay. Since it is part of the smoky eye family, you can kind of get away with it being a little bit of messy. But, once again, take your time. Now that I have my matte shadows blended to my liking, I'm going to take a flat shader brush with a little bit of my Juvia's Place setting spray, and I'm just going to spray, just give it a little hydration before I dip into this foreshadow. The first foreshadow that I'm using is Biafra. This shade is so beautiful. It's gold, but then it also has it's like a greenish gold, and it blends so perfectly with these other green shades. Oh my goodness, it's like chef kiss. Honestly, I feel like this is like my favorite foreshadow in this palette. Okay, now I end up using a different shadow on my other lid. I kind of wanted to see which one would pop out a little bit more, but obviously I'm sure we all can see which one kind of look best for this eye look. However, I still feel like you can use both shadows depending on the look that you're going for. Now, the shadow that I'm using on this eye is Tiv. Now, don't get me wrong, both of these shadows look very beautiful. However, if you're going for more of the halo look, I feel like Biafra works best. Tiv kind of end up making it look like it was like a smoky eye with a shimmer or a full shadow on the lid. That's the only difference. So if you want to go with the halo, I would say go with Biafra. It's just that Tiv, I guess because it's so close to the other greens, it just looked like it's a smoky eye. Now for my lower lid, I'm taking a smudge brush and using Ndebele on my lower lash line. And then I'm going to take a small blending brush and just blend that out with Taraba. And as an inner corner highlight, I'm taking a pencil brush. I think this is a small shadow brush, but usually for the inner corner, I use a pencil brush. And I took the shade Ifa and applied that right there on the inner corner as the inner corner highlight. I also brought it down a little bit on the lower lash line. And now I'm just taking a larger blending brush and just blending everything together, especially around the corners, just to make sure that everything is chef kiss. Now, since this look is such a glam look, I feel like I needed some lashes. So I went ahead and grabbed my Juvia's Place lashes. These are in Azura. So before I apply my lashes, I like to apply a little bit of lash glue on my lash line. And then I also apply lash glue on the lash strip itself so that when it gets tacky, it just suck right onto my lash line without slipping and sliding. I don't know about you guys, but for some reason with me, whenever I just apply lash glue on the strip itself, it just goes everywhere. It doesn't matter how long I let it sit on my lash glue. It doesn't matter how long I let the lash glue sit on the lashes. It just kind of like go everywhere. But when I do this two-step with the lash glue on the lash line, it just, look how it just sit there. Boom. That's it. Boom. They're on there. Now, as for the mascara, I did use a Milk Cosmetic mascara, but we're not gonna talk too much about it because it is not a black owned. That's another thing that I didn't have as a black owned makeup product is a mascara. But overall, I think I'm doing very well. Oh, and the lash glue and the mascara. So that's three things out of how many? I think I'm doing pretty well. Now I'm lining my lips with the Juvia's Place Luxe Liner in Sweet Nothing. And then to give myself a little bit of extra definition, I'm applying a darker shade on the peak of my lip around my Cupid's bow and also at the bottom portion of my lip. And I am using the Juvia's Place Luxe Liner in Coffee Bean. And to complete the lips, we are using liquid lipstick from Colored Rain. Honey, when was the last time you guys heard of Colored Rain? But the shade that I'm using is Sugar. Oh my goodness, this shade is so beautiful. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and set our face with a little bit of setting spray, lock and seal it. This is from Juvia's Place. And then that's the end of the look. What do you guys think? If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. Thank you all for watching, and remember, you're made for more. See you next time. Bye.